Alphabet Man, tearing down the strongholds, exposing the darkness, wrecking the enemy's plans. Endurance till the end. It's time for the Alphabet Man Live.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. So, actually, Don, I'm going to tell you now. Don and I were just talking about a doctor wrote him the wrong prescription. And so I remember one time I left the doctor's office and I went to the pharmacy and I went to pick up a prescription and the pharmacist said, "David, can I talk to you?" I said, "Yeah." And he pulls me all the way over to the side and he goes, "You know, this new medication," I was like, "The antibiotic?" He's like, "No, the other one." He's like, the antibiotic, that's all right. You take that. It was like a Z-Pack or something for a cold. And he says, "It's the other medication I'm concerned about." He says, and this is when I was really big. I was like 350, 400 pounds. He goes, "I think, with your weight and your high blood pressure, that there could be a risk of a heart, something wrong with you." I was like, "What new medication?" I was like, "I'm here to pick up an antibiotic for my cold." He's like, "No, but the other one." I was like, "Well, what other one?" And he named this medication, and I saw commercials for it constantly because you kind of take note to things that they have commercials for now that you never would have even spoke about when you were a kid. And I'm like, "Isn't that one of them sex pills?" He's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "I don't need that. I don't even engage in that activity." He says, "Well, the doctor sent it in with your antibiotic." So I went back to the doctor's office and found out why. And he sent someone else's prescription in with mine to me. So I just got reminded of that because of Don. It's all Don's fault. So blame Don. So you know what? I was online. Well, actually, yesterday, my good friend and my brother Roger Weaver gave me a call and he asked me. He says, "David, have you saw those comments on Coach Dave's video at Lakewood High School?" And I was like, "No, actually a few people had commented to me about them." And I said, "And I hadn't went and seen them yet." And wow. So when I got home, because I was at the grocery store when Roger called me, and when I got home, I went on the coach's Facebook page and I was reading some of these comments. He did a video outside the high school over a weekend and about this cross-dressing or transgender teacher that's teaching girls phys ed in school. Okay. And so he did a video about that. And the comments were not surprising. Okay, I have to say that. They weren't surprising to me. So, but the negative far outweighed the positive, and that bothered me, although it wasn't very surprising either. So the hateful and the ignorant comments, especially by teenagers. I mean, parents, what is wrong? You've lost your mind if you think it's okay for your child to talk to anybody like that. You've lost your children and you've allowed them to become a part of the system because none of them who commented had any Christian morals or values. Now let me say this, okay? And in their defense, they were sincere. Each one of those children, each one of those parents, each one of them parents, they were sincere. It's the one thing that every single one of those comments, that the person commenting was sincere. Each comment, negative and positive, came from a place of heartfelt, gut-wrenching sincerity. Each single word spoken was truly felt, meant, and believed. Of course, most of the comments were totally outside of the love and meekness that this movement, that the LGBT movement claims, using the most vulgar and explicit wording. If I would have said any of those things to an adult, to anyone really, but especially an adult, when I was that age, and I wasn't from a Christian home, and my mama didn't even know Jesus, but I'll tell you one thing, if I would have spoke or typed or wrote or said anything like that to anybody, but especially an adult, my mama would have knocked me in the next week come Tuesday. But what are these parents doing? The parents of these teenagers are teaming up with their teenagers. And once you see what the parents type, now you know why their children are typing like, saying and speaking like that. You see, sadly, it's true that we are a product of our environment, especially when your home life and your life out in this ignorant, deceived world are one and the same. I'm not going to be almost 50. I'm going to be 50 in 4 years. And I look at the people that are my age. Many of them have children and they have grandchildren, and they're just as lost and confused as their children and their grandchildren. And I pray that anyone from Lakewood High School or any other school in our nation would see this video right here and hear me now. Because there is a serious, very serious issue presenting itself in your midst. And the very fact remains that if this issue is not resolved, the consequences could be deadly, both physically and spiritually. See, none of you really know the dangers ahead, nor do you see it. You don't understand it because you don't get it. See, ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is bondage. And I don't blame anyone for being ignorant, because we're all born ignorant. Just takes a lot of work to be that way. I forget who said that. Or it takes a lot of work to remain stupid, however it was said. But we're all born ignorant. We're all born into sin, we're shaped in iniquity. We already know that. But we're all born ignorant. So I'm not blaming anyone for being ignorant. But I will put blame on the parents and the grandparents and the neighbors and the aunts and the uncles and the brothers and the sisters and the people who are not a part of the LGBT movement, who aren't even comfortable with the LGBT movement, but won't speak out or speak up to protect the children from the LGBT movement. I'm going to share, I can do it. I'm going to share just two clips from the comments on Coach Dave's and see, this Emma Weekly said, dude, you realize that stuff happens, right? People are people and they make money how they need or want to. Speaking about this transgender cross-dressing teacher, it's not 1971, so stop acting like it's abnormal. So the meaning of normal has changed because of the times. I'm sure many students don't give a darn. Get over it, my dude. You're not going to change the fact that it's 2019 and people are working instead of ranting on Facebook about other people's lives. Concentrate on yourself. I mean, Emma, my heart breaks for you that you think that just because in 1971, which you weren't even born yet, but in 1971, just because something was considered abnormal doesn't make it normal now just because more people were doing it or admitting to doing it. The fact that it's 2019 and things are so morally destroyed should make you actually want to be a positive influence in this world that you've grown up in. But Emma, I don't blame you for being lost because you're lost. I'm not going to blame you for acting lost and for believing what you've been taught and what you've been told because you've been deceived. And, Emma, they wouldn't call it deception if you knew you were being deceived. Marie Lavin says, my daughter knows this teacher. The teacher said that he was treated better at Lakewood than any other school that he has subbed at. Why is that, Marie? Oh, that's because Lakewood has a large and widely accepted LGBT student population. That should petrify you that this movement has moved in and is targeting and preying on your children and about to devour your children and your grandchildren. Larry Marshall said, hey, Marie, it's a he. He can wear all the dresses he wants. It still don't make him a she. And you know what? That is truth. And then this other guy, Michael New, pops in and says, Larry, see now that I don't understand is how people like you can say anything. She, in quotations, is living her, in quotations, own life. And you should live yours. If she wants to be a she, then she can be a she. It's not hard to understand. Grow up. It's 2019, not 2005. Why do people believe the lie that just because the times have changed, that morals have changed, that sin has become not sin? And then poor little Emma says, also stop worrying about me and my other friends at Lakewood because I assure you us children are just fine. And then we can look at another post. Another post that said that Carol Rose Yoder's post is saying, I think we forget that when Jesus said, love your neighbor, he meant your Democrat, Republican, gay, Black, Muslim, Asian, the person you're mad at, your waitress, your waiter, the homeless, your ex, your atheist, addict, immigrant neighbor. God loves everyone, not just those who you get along with. Look, Carol Rose Yoders. First of all, let me correct you. When Jesus said love your neighbor, he wasn't talking about anyone living in sin. He was talking about your brethren, children of God. And we're not all born children of God, in case you didn't know that. I know that some people didn't get that memo, but you have to become a child of God. And so let me just say this, because Jesus also did say love your enemies. And I think you just named a lot of enemies, but let me also correct you that Black shouldn't be in there. Asian shouldn't be in there. Homeless shouldn't be in there. Your ex. Oh my gosh. I mean, really? I'm not even going to comment on that. Immigrant shouldn't be in there. See, you are actually born black or Asian, and circumstances can lead you to homelessness, and just because you're from a third world country, you become an immigrant when you're coming in. But let me say this. You choose to be a Democrat. You choose to be a Republican. Oh, thank you, Jesus. I'm not either one. I'm a Christian first. You choose. Okay, first of all, gay means happy. I wasn't gay when I was a homosexual. I was miserable even as a transgender. So gay, but you're not born a homosexual. You're not created that way. Okay, let me say it like that, because we're all born into sin. So, and you choose to be homosexual, you choose to be a Muslim. The person you're mad at, that's just dumb. Your waitress, your waiter, really? Oh man, atheist, you choose to be an atheist. You choose to be an addict. Addiction is not a disease, okay? You choose to be an addict, okay? Carol Rose Yoders. And you're right, God does love everyone. He loved everyone so very much that he robed himself in flesh and he came to this earth to become the propitiation for our sin. But I love everybody that I come into contact with because I'm obedient. And that's what love is, obedience. And because the Holy Spirit of the one true living God dwells within me, once you become a child of God, I do love. But I'm also separated from those who choose to remain in their sin. And God will continue to separate and be separate from those who choose to continue on and live in their sin. And homosexuality is a sin. Transgenderism is confusion. Confusion and anger, and that's what I've seen in all of those comments. If the LGBT movement is not stopped in the school system, it will devour your children and your grandchildren. And I'm not just passing judgment here, because first of all, it's already been judged. Pick up the Bible, the real scriptures. And I'm not just telling you what I think or what I feel or what I believe to be. What I'm telling you is what I know. I'm telling you what I've lived and what I've been and where I've been. Listen, I was recruited into this movement, what you would call molested. And see, many people nowadays in this last generation don't have to be molested or recruited into the movement because they're being indoctrinated from birth. They're being told to believe, they're being brainwashed to believe that the medical community assigns their gender, that they can be anything they want to be. And we're all to blame for that, in case you don't know, because we've been telling children for all these years, well, you could be anything you want to be. And so now that they want to be anything they want to be, we're saying, well, no, you really can't. And we wonder why we got boys running around in dresses and makeup and men walking down the street with their girlfriends wearing makeup and have a bow in their hair with a skirt. And oh my goodness. This is not pleasing and acceptable unto the Lord. And I'm telling you from experience. A lot of people were speaking about this love that they don't understand. Love is obedience. It's not a warm, fuzzy feeling. It's an action. And because I love, I'm going to tell the truth. I'm just blessed to have, I'm blessed to have a powerful tool that the Lord has provided me. He's allowed me to attain this powerful tool. You see, all of my life I spent running from him, hiding from him, giving him the hand, telling him to check the back because I don't understand. I see a lot of God haters out there. I was a God hater too. Even as a child, I spoke to God twice in my young age, in my young life. The first time I spoke was to beg him, can I wake up tomorrow and be a girl, God? And when I didn't, the next time was to shake my fist up in the sky and say, how dare you make a mistake? How dare you put me in the wrong body? How could you do this to me? This love that you all speak of, you don't even understand it. You don't comprehend it because you don't get it, because it doesn't dwell in you. He wants to dwell in you. God wills that all men be saved. I will speak life and truth into this situation because I want to remove the deceptive movement from amongst the children. And you agree or not with how Coach Dave Dobermeyer went about it. His heart is seeking to save the children from this movement. No matter his motives, his heart is to seek and to save these children from this dark movement. Why? Because we've had so many discussions. We've had so many talks about what this movement does to children. From my experience, 30 plus years trapped in the movement, I have shared all of the most detestable, disgusting things that I've witnessed, that I participated in. I've shared these things with Coach Dave. And that's why he's so passionate about standing up for the children. Many of you should be standing up for the children too. See, a lot of you out there at Lakewood High School, a lot of you believe that homosexuality is wrong, that transgenderism is confusion. A lot of you believe that you don't want and know that you don't want your children to be like that. So why do you allow your children to be taught that? Why are you allowing your children to be taught that, especially by those that are trapped in that? You want to give your children a fair chance? And if you still consider, or if you still want to send them to public school, allow them to speak with somebody or be taught by somebody who has been rescued from that death style. See, don't tell me what I don't know, or how I don't know what they feel or what they're going through or how they think or what they have to deal with every day. Because let me tell you this, sadly, I'm one of the ones who paved that road for many of these teachers to be going in there as a man wearing makeup and a dress. I'm one of the ones that paved the road, making it so okay for all of these people to be marching down the street and parading their sin. I'm one of the ones that spent over 30 years of my life advocating for this movement, trying to normalize it. Tell me I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And for all the damage that I've done, I'm sorry and I apologize. I too was deceived, just like you. I too believed that was who and what I was. I too believed that there was no way out, that homosexuality was immutable and transgenderism was unchangeable. I too believed that I couldn't change my desires or attractions for men. I too thought that I was a girl trapped in a boy's body. I even believed that it was okay for them to love whoever they want to love, and I bought into the garbage nonsense that, well, who am I to judge? Anybody can love anybody. I too once believed that this movement, that the LGBT movement, was all about love. Pay close attention to me, because as if I haven't already, I'm about to start exposing publicly the deep, dark, seedy little secrets that this movement promotes and is all about. See, I know the emotional roller coaster oh so well. I know about crying and saying, well, I don't want to be this way, and then crying because why is everybody always picking on me? I know the feeling of not wanting to be that way, but then being taught and told that that is just who I am and what I was made to be. I was told that those feelings and those thoughts and that attraction was unchangeable. I was told a lie. I was deceived. That ticks me off. It should tick you off that you are being deceived, that you're being lied to, that your children are being targeted, that your children are being lied to. You should be outraged that this movement is intertwined with the pedophile movement. You should be outraged that this movement is intertwined with the Islamic movement. You should be outraged You should be outraged. You should be outraged. Why aren't you? I know that you want to try to save face and save relationships and not lose loved ones and not lose friends. But if you're living for loved ones and if you're living for friends and if you're living for what you got, then you're not living at all. You're dead. You're the walking dead in the land of the lost. See, nobody's created that way. Hear me now, boys and girls. Nobody's created that way. If you want to believe you're born that way, fine. But guess what? Jesus said, be born again. If you believe that that's just who you are, guess what? Jesus said, deny yourself. There's no excuse for sin. I'm thankful that the wages of sin isn't paid immediately, because I wouldn't be able to be here to expose the darkness. I'd already be gone. I'm here to tell you that those feelings and that those thoughts are absolutely mutable, that they are definitively changeable. Without a doubt, there's so much to understand about those feelings and those emotions. See, I lived for over 30 years in that movement. Many of those years I lived as transgender. And I did it well. I did it so well that I had to tell people I was a man. And even then they didn't believe me. Okay? So if you think that this cross-dressing and transgenderism is beyond what I could know, trust me, I know. And I hope that you share this video and some of the shows that are coming, because I'm going to have some people who have also been rescued from that death style giving their own account. Before I go, I wanted to share two things with you all. One is Pastor Mike Spalding's conference coming up July 26th and 27th, and I think 28th. And so I'm going to share his video, and then I'm going to share our very next event coming up.
Hi friends, Pastor Mike Spalding here to tell you about the Go Therefore 2019 conference. This year's gathering will be at the University of Northwest Ohio Event Center, July 26th and 27th. Conference will conclude Sunday, July 28th at Calvary Chapel of Lima. This is the largest gathering of acclaimed Bible teachers, researchers, and prophecy experts anywhere in the United States. Here's our speaker list. Author, Bible teacher, and host of the Kingdom Intelligence Briefing, Dr. Michael Lake. Bradley Dean, host of Sons of Liberty Radio. Author and founder and director of Peacemakers Outreach, Dr. John Diamond. Russ Dizdar of Shatter the Darkness Ministries. Coach Dave Daubenmire of Pass the Salt Ministries. Pastor and author Dr. Carl Gallups. Researcher Carl Teichripp. Publisher of the Wisconsin Christian News, Rob Pugh. Author Douglas Woodward. Prophecy expert John Haller. David Arthur of Alphabet Man Ministries, filmmaker Tom Dunn, researcher David Paxton, cybersecurity and artificial intelligence researcher Mark Trump, Created Equal founder Mark Harrington, The Last Evangelist filmmaker David Heavener, author, researcher, and lecturer L.A. Marzulli, author Chad Schaefer, British filmmaker Mark Sutherland, pastor and musician Leighton Howerton, founding fathers and constitutional researcher Tom Navolis, former combat veteran and author Jamie Walden, and of course, me, Dr. Mike Spalding. Tickets are only $59. You can secure your seat for the Go Therefore conference at this website, gothereforeconference.com. This event will sell out quickly. Ticket and hotel information is at the conference website, gothereforeconference.com. Hope to see you there.
Amen. And you know what, folks? Let me just say this. We don't have to always agree with all of the speakers at a conference. If we're going there with a mission to bring truth and to bring it in love, then we're going there with the right mission. So I'm going to be there. Right now, it looks like our 3-day outreach ministry in Atlantic City, New Jersey this weekend is not going to be, that we are going to reschedule it for June. And we're going to reschedule it for June because, one, all the funding didn't come in that would cover the trip. Two, I'm in some pain because of the hernias. My surgery is next week. And so just remain prayerful on that. Fire and Brimstone premiere in Oskaloosa, Iowa, May 11th at 7 p.m. The Iowa Huddle presents our premiere of Fire and Brimstone, May 11th, 2019 at 7 p.m. Gateway Church, 140 Gateway Drive, Oskaloosa, Iowa. If you, and here you go, Denny, you paying attention? I'm going to say your name. If you want to come or you need any other information, well, if you want to come, you just come. But if you need any other information, contact Denny Bryan at 641-295-0245, iowahuddle99@gmail.com. I want to thank you guys for joining me this morning. And just speak out. Stand up, speak out, go to the school board meetings. Go get your 3 minutes and let them know what you really feel. You standing up could be the beginning of a whole lot of other people standing up. Sometimes everybody needs a little encouragement or a little push. So thanks again. God bless you all. Love you. Peace.